the HomeTech Podcast for Friday, March 8th from Sarasota, Florida. I'm Seth Johnson.
From Wilder, Kentucky, I'm TJ Huddleston.
And from Pickering, Ontario, still, I'm Gavin Campbell.
I honestly don't know if it's Wilder or Wilder. I'm afraid to ask at this point, so.
Ask it, Bob Evans. And welcome to the HomeTech Podcast, a podcast all about home automation, home technology, travels around the Midwest, or I don't know, is Kentucky technically the Midwest? I don't know.
I don't even understand how Ohio's the Midwest, to be honest, so I don't know.
What's going on in Kentucky?
Well, what's not going on in Kentucky, Seth? Now, I'm down at the Northern Kentucky University installing some cameras this week. So I got here this morning at 8 a.m. and I'll be here until tomorrow installing baseball cameras. So I've been doing a lot of traveling. Next week I'll be in, just so you know, Seth, next week I'll be somewhere else as well. So next week I'll be in Cincinnati doing the same thing, but I'll be there for the entire week.
All over.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's the company I got hooked up with, they do baseball cameras. So they do like instant replays and stuff like that. So they basically asked me, they said, how far do you want to travel? And I said, well, how much do you want to pay me? And so that's where we are now.
Wait, Northern Kentucky University is outside of Cincinnati.
It's little like, so for dinner tonight, I went to Cincinnati and it took me 5 minutes.
It's within like the loop.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really understand how that's not considered Cincinnati, but there you go.
Well, the Ohio River separates it. I think that's the only reason.
I see. There it is. I was wondering where the border was because I zoomed down. I'm like, I'm not seeing it. But okay,
it's the river.
Is
yeah. Well, and it was funny on the drive in this morning. I think I sent it through the back channel. You're driving over the river, and Google Maps has the little border lines to show you where the border is in the river, and it's just like a big old loop-de-loop. Like it's like I don't know if Google Maps just messed it up or if Ohio and Kentucky had like a dispute at some point, but the border through the river makes no sense to me, but I'm in Columbus, so I really don't care.
That yeah, I see that too. It's like it's here on, yeah. Okay, that's really weird.
It's like somebody was on a boat and they got confused and that's where the border is.
Like, go back that way. No, go that way. Go that way.
It's too late now. It's already recorded.
There's a fight between two fishermen. That's why they were fighting over that specific spot. There's a sweet spot for salmon right there.
That is so weird.
So last podcast we learned about Ohio, right? This podcast is all about Kentucky. The population's only 3,000 people in Wilder.
Well, I'm not surprised being here right now. So
3,001 people today.
It's actually funny. I was looking for sports bars. So whenever I travel, I tend to go to sports bars because I just like chicken wings and beer at this point. And one of the places that came up as a recommended place to go to is called Top 10 Sports Bar. That's its actual name. So I feel
marketing.
I feel like that's cheating a little bit, but I'm not here to argue. So
it's probably not lying. They probably don't even have 10 sports bars there, so it's probably in the top 10 anyway.
I always thought it was funny where you would see like companies renamed to Chinese food near you or something like that, and that would be what you search for. It's like, oh yeah, Chinese food near you. That's where I want to eat tonight.
In the phone book days, they used to change their names to like AAAA duck cleaning.
Hey, yeah, exactly.
Now you just pay a lot of money to do that, so we solve that problem.
Well, I found a Reddit thread in our geography about this specific thing, but it seems rather long, and I'm not sure why.
About the border?
Yeah.
See, that's funny because I looked at it and I was like, huh, that's weird. And I live in Ohio and I did not investigate any further.
It looks like a few more data sources. So somebody pulled the BLM, which, is not Black Lives Matter in this case. It's a Bureau of Land Management, which is it's a very funny joke that happens in the White Lotus. Anyway, it shows a smooth border for the Hardin County there. And then the border data from the GSHS is also smooth. So it just depends on where you look. Google's data just kind of has this squiggly thing that goes through there. So there you go. That's weird.
Today I learned.
We learned something new today. This is a very educational show, more than just tech.
Yeah. TJ, your travels are really, really helping us here.
Yeah. See, you always give me grief because I always say the different areas and stuff. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's traveling again. But I'm trying to educate our listeners about America, Only the places that are close to Ohio, but the country in general.
We're going to branch out from there. So you're covering in the general area right now. over time, you'll spread it out a bit more.
Yeah.
Well, and somebody went down the rabbit hole on this one at the very bottom of this thread, and they found a newspaper article from 1980 about the Ohio River shift causing Kentucky-Illinois border issues. So I will put a link to that microfiche scan in the show notes, and yeah, you guys can check that out.
Amazing.
Well, maybe we can do an episode together here soon, Seth, because I'll be in your neck of the woods in May. So
awesome. You said you were going for some training or something a little up north, but
it's like an hour away from you.
Yeah, it's not very far.
I'll drive to you. That's all right. We already have a car anyway.
We have a couple of good what are they called breweries here as well, so you can have dinner. All right. Well, we didn't have a show last week. I was in Phoenix at a trade show, which we'll get into later, I guess. But a bunch of stuff happened. So got a bunch of HomeTech headlines, news stories, new rumors. Maybe some Sonos headphones. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know.
Ooh.
What do you say we get started these HomeTech headlines?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Bring out your dead. Ring has discontinued its Ring Car Cam, a dash cam / security camera hybrid thing that they came up with, due to ongoing delays and leading to orders being canceled since its launch at CES 2023. The product receiving poor reviews for low video quality and high monthly fees, lacked integration with Ring and Alexa, and felt unnecessary as a security device for some customers. Also, it took a long time to get one of these things. I do remember. I remember they announced it not at CES 2023. Like it launched then, but it was announced maybe a year before or two before. It took a while for this thing to come out. But I think TJ, you had one of these or still have one of these. At one point you did. What was wrong with this thing? Why did it die?
Honestly, I don't know. I feel like if they would have updated it, I would have bought another one. So I bought one basically as soon as it was announced. I think they had a little bit of a lead time once they announced it till it was actually released. It was like a month or something like that. I installed it. The installation was pretty easy. I really like the ability to check in on my dash cam, which I can't really do with my normal dash cam. So we have dash cams in the work van and I have one in our personal vehicle. And they just record to like an SD card, which is great. But if I want to actually look at the footage or whatever, I literally have to pull the dash cam or pull the micro SD card, hook it up to a computer, and then I can view it that way. It has Wi-Fi, so you can like connect it to an app. But the app was always awful and it would take forever to get a video off of it. So the Ring was nice. It didn't record. Maybe I'm saying this wrong, but I don't think it recorded all the time. It was kind of like their other products where it was like motion based or something like that. Or maybe when you were in motion, it actually recorded continuously. I don't recall that part. The issue I had though was the resolution. I think it was only 1080p. And so it wasn't very good quality. Like if somebody was in front of you and maybe like 10 to 20 feet, you could not tell a license plate, which is basically like one of the more important things with a dash cam, right? Like if somebody hits you or backs into you or something, you want to be able to see that license plate. And with this one, I couldn't. And so I returned it, I think after like 2 weeks. But I promised myself I would buy a new one if they came out with a 4K version. Just because the ability to like look at my dash cam while I was away was really appealing to me. So I'm kind of disappointed to see them kill this.
Does Ring have any 4K cameras and doorbells? I guess this article talks about how it was kind of hard for them to get this product in. Like it was hard for people to find them. They had availability issues. It's like Ring should have plenty of cameras. But yeah, I was looking at, well, here's some things from posts on Reddit, people asking the same thing. When is Ring going to come out with a 4K video camera?
Yeah, they don't have any 4K cameras as far as I know.
It's like 2K plus, or they have something that's better than 1080p on one of their doorbells, but it's not by much.
Yeah, it's like HDR or something like that, but it's not anything amazing. And a lot of that too is basically they're saving bandwidth and everything like that. But I feel like that is a missed market, especially for how much some of their cameras cost compared to the alternatives, at least.
Right. There's plenty of it leaves the door wide open for competition to have higher resolution cameras.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive you can buy all kinds of 4K doorbells. So.
And I wonder if that's it with them, is it's the bandwidth, right? Like when you have a 4K doorbell that's streaming all the time, it's not just the doorbell. They expect you to have multiple devices streaming all the time to the cloud. It's a lot of bandwidth.
Bandwidth, and I'd say processing power too, right? Like you can put a cheaper processor for 1080p or 1440p in their high resolution cases. So yeah, like those products, those parts pieces, they're cheaper, and they can compress them more and send them up to the cloud, and it looks good still, and you can get by with it. So.
Well, and especially with how long, I feel like Ring devices always take way longer to respond. Like if somebody actually rings your doorbell and you go to answer it, it always takes so long that most of the time you actually miss the event anyway. So I feel like if they added 4K, it would probably be even worse. So that's probably why they haven't done it.
Yeah. I don't know. The events come through pretty quickly. I mean, it's the emotion events and the ding events, but like how that cranks up and gets relayed back to your phone as a video, or how long it takes you to connect to that Ring video call thing, maybe variable as well. I haven't actually used my Ring in that way in a long time. I don't even have the Ring doorbell anymore. I'm still using the Unify one. I've pretty much given up on answering the door, but if somebody does ring the doorbell, first of all, I know not to answer it because they shouldn't be there.
Nobody comes over here.
Yeah, exactly. And, usually by the time I get to the door, if it is anything that I need to get there, it's a package that's been left. So like UPS will come up, ring the door and run, ding dong dash type thing.
Don't talk to me.
It does ring through pretty quickly. I mean, that from Unify, I mean, it kind of comes from the local NVR at least, but the way I have it set up is it plays out the announcement like a doorbell sound through Sonos speakers. So anyway, let's move on here. Speaking of Sonos, Sonos anticipated entry into headphones market.
Come on.
Faces a setback due to a software issue. This sounds like bull to me. Sorry. Yeah, delaying the imaginary product launch by at least a month, TJ. You're going to have to wait one more month for this. It's a bug related to wireless over-the-ear headphones, Wi-Fi connectivity, which of course is a bad idea, but we're not going to talk about that. It was detected during production validation testing, and despite this glitch, production remains slated for 650,000 to 1 million units, priced at $449. All right, TJ, you getting these?
Give it to me.
You getting them at $449?
Yeah. Look, I already laid out my stipulations. If it's $449 or less, which I think it will be, it'll be right at $449, I feel like. And it has Bluetooth as well. I'm going for them. But honestly, some of the Reddit, they keep posting this on Reddit, and everybody's like just crapping all over the idea of it, which I think is hilarious. But actually, the only thing that's given me pause is that a lot of the comments have pointed out that Sonos's other portable options with the battery have all kind of sucked. And so that's made me like hesitate at this moment too, because they're totally right. I mean, the Roam is like one of the worst portable speakers you could ever buy. The Move is a little bit better, but I don't know.
I do like the sound of the Move. The Roam is a little one, right? The little...
Yeah, the problem with the Roam, though, is it has Bluetooth issues. And so, like, it's always dropping out. It won't connect and stuff like that. The Move is not bad, but it's also like $450 as well. So
I have the Roam, and trying to pair Bluetooth seems it's a game.
Yeah.
Who can get it paired first?
Yeah, this seems like a junk product.
You don't need Bluetooth for your headphones, though, right?
Well, you do if you have friends. Seth just outed himself as not having friends.
Yeah, no, I still don't get this product. I don't understand.
It's TV headphones, Seth. I don't know. Like, you live around old people. Old people use TV headphones. That's the point. There you go.
All right. Well, we'll see if they come out in a month.
I'm going to buy them and hate them. I just know it.
I think they could have charged more and TJ would have still bought it.
No, my cutoff is $449 because you can buy
that's
AirPod
what you
Max.
say now. Yeah.
They come out at $499 for these
they're
headphones.
$459.99 and you say no. Nope. My cutoff was $449.
Yep, I'm saying no. No, honestly, I think that's my cutoff because what is the AirPod Max are $549, and minus the fact that they like kind of fall apart, those seem to be the next best option.
Well, they're expecting to sell a cool million of these things, so there's going to be a lot of happy or dissatisfied customers out there with their $500 headphones. Wow. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens.
Patrick Spence, if you're listening, go ahead and just send me the headphones. I'll demo them. We'll talk about them on the show. Free advertising. I mean, can't sell a million of them if people don't know about them.
Exactly. And TJ has Bluetooth. He's fine. He doesn't care about the Wi-Fi part, I don't think.
No, I care about that. I need to be able to use them outside the house too.
Oh, okay.
That's how I can justify it.
Gotcha. All right, let's move on here. We've got some actual new products that do exist. Well, actually, these don't yet, but they probably will before the headphones exist.
Stop it.
Zeus has announced a couple of new products here. They have sent out this little teaser thing that has 3 different products that they're kind of teasing. They didn't show pictures of them. They have little illustrations or little line drawings, CAD drawings, if you will. First is a motion switch. It looks like it's a switch that's got a little maybe a PIR sensor, maybe millimeter wave. Not sure. An outdoor multi-sensor, which is, humidity, temperature, light levels, and as well as motion, and a scene dimmer, which is nice. It's kind of, I think we've seen these in the past. Probably, does Zeus have any of these already? Scene dimmers?
They have a scene controller, which is the exact same thing, but it does not have a dimmer.
Okay. All right. So yeah, picture a dimmer, picture a scene controller. They had a baby. This is it. So yeah, all really cool products. We'll have to see what happens. So these will probably be out before the Sonos headphones, though. Guaranteed.
Stop it. Probably though. Zeus is very quick to release things, so
They're very reliable. They're a big player.
Gavin, are you going to need any of these?
When I first looked at this, I thought of Linus Tech Tits and his rant with the GE motion sensor one, and the whole issue they had with that, because every time he turned off his lights, the motion sensor would kick in and turn the lights back on, right? So I don't know. I'm pretty sure they worked out those bugs. They have that sorted out, but I really want the millimeter wave in it. I don't want the PIR. I was really hoping it would be millimeter wave, but it doesn't look that way. So I'm waiting on the Innovelli ones, because those are coming with millimeter wave in it, and that's much more reliable than PIR. I gave up on PIR a while ago for room occupancy, right? The millimeter wave is so much better, but the outdoor sensor they're bringing, I might grab one of those. I was actually looking for one of those the other day. But if anybody, you're looking at Zeus products, they're a great brand. Like, Zeus is one of the top brands out there. I highly recommend any of their products. They've never given me any problems, and they just work great. So don't hesitate if you want one.
Yeah, I could definitely use these outdoor multi-sensors. I mean, I think that's a great one, because right now I was looking at going back to the YoLink outdoor sensors, motion sensors, but I really don't want to deal with another hub again. So I'm going to explore other options, and this would be perfect for it.
I agree.
Yeah, cool products. Hopefully we'll see them soon. It'll probably not be very expensive either. So
be at least $5. So
somewhere between $5 and the $449 top out that DJ has in his budget. So. All right, let's move on here. Got another new product. We talked about Josh AI a couple weeks ago because they had their winter launch event. And after that, I think we kind of had some, rumors that were flying around that they were going to come out with a new remote, and it turns out they did. They unveiled a couple of days ago the Josh Edge, which is a hard button TV remote with in-room device control and voice assistance, kind of just all built together. This is super nice. It looks like a basic universal remote control, but it's got kind of the Josh AI microphone built into it. So some customizable top buttons. You can kind of customize a few things, but I don't know. It looks pretty nice. It's very small. It kind of reminds me of like the Apple TV remote without all the horrible touchpad thing.
Oh yeah, that one was awful. The black remote.
Yeah, but this looks good. I mean, I don't know. I would use this, I guess.
Honestly, this is appealing to me because I want a remote that can control multiple things, but I also don't need like a touchscreen remote because I'm not that fancy. And my biggest reason is I don't want to recharge my remote all the time. Like, we're using the Apple TV remote, which I don't even know how often I have to charge it, which is amazing to me. I think this one is reported to be around a 3-month battery life, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Especially for like rooms where you don't need like a complicated remote, and you can still set this up to control various things. And so that's kind of the appealing thing to me. I don't think they talk about pricing on here, but the pricing I think is very favorable. It's probably not going to compare to Gavin's entry-level Logitech Harmony, but for an integrator remote, it is pretty cheap.
Well, I do like the fact that you can do the basic stuff with buttons, right? But as you need to do some more advanced things, you could just yell at Josh to do something, right?
Yeah.
You could say, hey, do this, and or do this, and this, and then that too. And it'll pull that all together and do its thing. And you don't have to have a button on your remote to do all that. You can just kind of make your own macros with your voice. So that's great.
You just ruined my whole argument about this right there, Seth. Thanks a lot. Like, I wanted more buttons, but the fact that you point out that, hey, you could actually, if you need to do anything else, just talk to your remote. I'm like,
talk to it. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of like, I can't argue for more buttons now because you're right. It looks nice.
It could use more buttons, maybe, I guess. I don't know.
Thank you. Okay, at least
I'll give you that.
A few more. They have room for 1 or 2 more rows of buttons they could have thrown on there, right? Like, or they could have taken some off the top and moved them down to the bottom, but no, that's a cool feature, actually. If there was something else you wanted to do, you could just talk to it and tell it and program it that way. If you want to say like, previous channel, you don't need a previous channel button. You could just say, hey, change it to the last channel.
This thing looks good. Aluminum, machined out aluminum. You drop it, it won't break.
I wonder if Ava is making this remote or not. I assume they are, right?
I don't know.
I mean, because Ava's already in the remote gain, so
they could be like the same manufacturer or something. Yeah, I don't know. Well, interesting. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on that one. It does look very nice, though.
Yeah, well, it basically looks like an Apple TV remote, which I think is a good form factor.
Well, debatable, but
the new one.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I think they had these. I don't know. So this is the problem. There was a Josh AI booth at the Lightapalooza thing I was at, the trade show. And I went and talked to them. Like, I went and had a conversation with them. I didn't even look at their booth. I was just talking to them about their API and like if they were going to open that up for development. And we had a long conversation about that, but I forgot to look down on the table. They may have had one of these remotes sitting right there to touch.
Aww.
I didn't even look.
Come on, Seth.
So if they did, whoops. If they didn't, oh well, I didn't miss anything there, but should have probably have thought about that. I even knew it was out. I just forgot to look down. Well, we do have a cool new product, and this is the Emporia View 3 Energy Management Hub and Monitor. It offers comprehensive energy monitoring management capabilities. This is kind of, you have version 2 of this, the View 2, I guess. This one is basically the same thing with a couple of nice feature enhancements or improvements. I think we were talking about this a little bit more. The wiring harness sets up a little bit nicer. It's got Ethernet in, so you can connect instead of using this over Wi-Fi where it may get kind of chatty on Wi-Fi and cause some problems. You can use it right on Ethernet and keep all that traffic locally off the airwave, so to speak. Anything else on this that looks a little bit different than one you've got?
The connectors are different, so you can actually the old ones are basically the 3.5 millimeter. These ones are just 2-wire, and so you can actually trim them down to whatever size you need to.
Oh.
That's kind of nice. I think it's DIN rail mountable as well. And a couple other small quality of life improvements. The main thing I'm wondering is if they're still using ESP Home for this. Because the Gen 2, you can reflash with ESP, if they're still using an ESP device, because the old one, you could flash it with ESP Home and do it 100% local. And so I'm curious if they've removed this capability. Like, it was never a sanctioned thing. They'd always told you void the warranty or whatever. But I wonder if they made that harder at this point.
Yeah, I wonder. I would say I doubt it, just given the price point. And then
and probably not that big a deal. People doing it either at the end of the day.
The only thing that it does give me, it doesn't give me pause, but it kind of makes me kind of curious is they do have the Wi-Fi antenna on there still, and they have RJ45 for LAN. I don't know. I bet it's the same. I bet whatever they have in there for their board to read all those energy sensors and everything that connects in and ties into an ESP processor. That's what everybody was going in there and flashing. And I bet that it may just be a new processor type. So somebody will have to go in there and kind of reverse engineer that a little bit. But once they do, it should be good to go.
Yeah, no, it definitely looks like a nice device. I think if you have one, there's not really a reason to update. And it looks like if you want to, you can use those sweet speaker snap connectors with this too. So if you want to spend a little bit extra money on there, you can make it nice and easy for yourself.
What, for all the little terminal ports?
Yeah.
I don't know why you would do that. Yeah.
Why not, Seth? That's why.
Well, I know that there's two people on this phone call that don't have one of these. Gavin, I might get one of these now. I don't know. We'll see. Gavin, what about you?
I was always looking at this. Just was trying to find a buddy that could do the install for free because I don't like messing around with this side of the electrical panel. And now I have somebody lined up, so I'm definitely getting one of these. But I do want to see. I'm just going to do a little bit more research on this version 3, see if there's anything else that it may make it difficult.
Yeah, and it's super cheap. I mean, $200 and it'll 200 American dollars, I should say. And it'll monitor 16 circuits. So, I mean, that's up to 50 amps each. So, I mean, that's a pretty good deal, especially when you compare it to like Sense or some other things where it doesn't monitor as much.
And TJ, you talk so highly of this and you're such a picky person that, like, I feel like I can't go wrong if I just get this.
It's one of those things that like you just install it, and as long as you don't look at it installed, then you're fine. Because whenever you install it in your panel, it kind of looks like a dumpster fire. Like it's just it's not pretty at all, just because of the wire management and stuff. But it works. It does its thing, and you don't have to mess with it. And having all that sweet data in Home Assistant is even nicer.
Oh yeah, I need more variables in my Home Assistant. Yeah,
it integrates with Home Assistant. It's a cloud-based integration, but I mean it still integrates, and you can do it or monitor it through the Energy tab. So we have literally the whole house. We have our water, electric, and our gas integrated with Home Assistant now. So
yeah, I was just looking at the Sense thing that I have. It's $299. I was given this thing, so I didn't really pay for it, but it only has the 2 CT clamps on like the mains that come in, and then it kind of uses an algorithm or whatever to kind of figure out
AI.
Yeah.
It
was machine learning.
Yeah, I was gonna say
machine learning.
Not that fancy. They're gonna come out with the AI version.
Back in the day, that's what we called AI. It was machine learning, and before that, we just called it math. But they were able to look at whatever is being done. And I will say, like, I have it set to kind of keep an eye on the washer and dryer. And there's little notifications you can set it in there once you figure out what device is the washer and dryer, because it will definitely misidentify many things as washer 1, washer 2, washer 3, washer 4. So as soon as you figure out like which one's which, you can go in there and set a notification. Say, okay, when the washer turns off, remind me. When the washer turns off 15 minutes later, remind me, that kind of thing. So it does do that. It does it really well. So I will kind of give it a little bit of credit on that.
Yeah, I looked at the Sense. I only chose against it because I read a lot of reviews on it that basically like it does an all right job of figuring stuff out, but with the Emporia one, you literally label the circuits, and so you know exactly what it is. And there's no like AI or like any learning to it. You literally have to decide what you want to see out of it. But I literally just wanted to see my energy usage on each circuit, so that was the appeal to me.
Makes sense. Well, Gavin and I are ordering now, I guess. So it's a race to see who's going to get it put in first.
Yep.
Gavin will.
Well, Gavin can't even get Gen 3 yet, so.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a hold of it. It's not on Amazon, any of the Amazon, so I might have to order directly from Emporia, but I just like ordering from Amazon better.
It's funny you guys think that's going to matter at all.
Well, you see, the problem is
he's still going to have it done before he.
Oh, okay. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
That's true.
We're like giving you a head start, Seth.
I know, right? Here's the huge handicap that I get out of this play. And nope, still going to mess it up. So. Oh, man. I did get that starter replaced, though. That was nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, fancy me. All right. I'm going to blow through these real quick. There were a bunch of stories about price increases and people being mad about them. Ring customers are pretty upset over a 43% price increase from the annual subscriptions. Arlo is raising the price of its single camera video cloud subscription from $4.99 to $7.99 per month, citing rising costs. And Google is also increasing the Nest Aware program internationally, including Canada and Japan. So it'll cost $20 Canadian, which is like $5 American, I guess. But still, that's a lot of money for Nest Aware. All of these things are going up. Oh, and Tidal's cutting costs. They're going to cut the price of their streaming plan from $11 a month down to $9 a month. But at the same time, we can't always have nice things. They're also getting rid of their free tier plan, so you don't get that anymore. So you got to pay for Tidal now. But at least somebody's going down. But I thought all this was funny. And then to put a nice little cap on this, the last article I ran across was this over at Strategy. Streaming service subscriber growth in the U.S. is dropped by half in 2023. I can't imagine why, guys. I think
it's funny that out of everybody increasing prices, Tidal cuts some of their streaming prices. They got rid of the free plan as well, but it's just kind of ironic that everybody's basically doubling their costs, but Tidal's yeah, well, we're going to cut some money. You can tell who's struggling the most.
And as they raise prices, you expect the subscribers to go down, the number of subscribers, because people they have to decide they're going to have to cut something to pay for it. So then you got balance, how much we're making versus the number of subscribers. But it's not just here. Everybody's raising prices across all the industries.
Oh yeah,
it's getting ridiculous.
Yep. I mean, for a couple of years back, we had a random trade war that we raised prices on parts and pieces and components that came from China, I guess. That, I guess, has ended. Maybe? I don't know. The prices never went down, though. And then after that, after the pandemic, the pandemic, the prices went up again. They never came back down on the electronic stuff. So, yeah. Once you say, oh, yeah, I can pay 20% more for that TV. You get to pay more for it for the rest of your life. Hey, I didn't know you had that money in your wallet. I will take it.
Mine.
Hey, you know what hasn't increased though? Our patron levels. It's still $1 a month.
No way. Only $1, Seth?
$1 a month. That's all it's ever been.
Wow.
$1 Canadian, $1 American. Doesn't matter. It's just $1. We hate math.
It's not $1 Canadian. No, it's a little bit more than $1 Canadian. Let's not lie to the people, I
have no idea, honestly, how it works.
Yeah.
There's a button that says right here, press the button. And maybe there is a translation thing for the languages and stuff to go.
Yeah. Like when I go subscribe, it's oh, it's only $1, subscribe. And then my bill comes in, it's $1.87 or whatever.
Well, we got to pay for your health care. I mean, what do you want?
I know, but no, it's not $1 Canadian.
Well, you don't have to stop at $1. You can go up to 20, 25. I mean, maybe you're feeling generous, you can do 100. I mean, there's no limit.
Yeah. Here's the thing. It hasn't changed. It hasn't changed though.
Yes.
Base price for this show has always been $1. So if you do feel like supporting HomeTech, HomeTech.fm/support, learn how you can support for as little as $1. Put a star next to that. Could just be $1 US a month.
Yeah, because you know what? The dollar fluctuates. So it may be $1.50 Canadian today, but it could be $1.60 Canadian tomorrow. So keep that in mind when you subscribe from Canada.
Could be $2. Could be $2 Canadian. We appreciate it either way.
One freedom unit.
Overlay eagle screaming in the background or something. All right. We got some Matter news this week. The IKEA, I can never pronounce this thing. The didgeridoo hub.
I can never pronounce any of their names.
Didgeridoo.
Okay, there we go. Not didgeridoo.
Is that the Canadian pronunciation or?
I don't know.
I guess a didgeridoo. Is that a soft G or a hard G?
Ooh.
Is it GIF or GIF or YIF? I think it's pronounced with a Y. Let's see. This hub launched 2 years ago. Now it's getting a Matter update, allowing it to function as a Matter bridge for Zigbee devices in a smart home setup. I guess it's out in beta, and beta users can currently link didgeridoo hubs to the Matter networks, primarily focusing on lighting products and providing feedback for further development. So really cool. Matter is slowly rolling. We've been hearing about this for a while.
Yeah.
And I guess it's finally here now. So this is probably one of the cheapest hubs to get you into the Matter ecosystem. Yeah. It is $70 in the US, probably $80, $90 in Canada. I don't know. And 60 pounds. So
it's a heavy hub.
And IKEA, you know what? IKEA's always impressed me with their things. Like their Zigbee devices have always worked flawlessly with Home Assistant. Like I've never had issues with any IKEA devices. So I would put trust that they're going to do this right.
Yeah, they always come highly recommended. So if you're looking for very inexpensive home automation accessories, then I would give IKEA a look, especially their blinds. Holy cow, their blinds are so cheap.
And they're really good. Like the battery lasts long, and I have one set of their blinds. It's really good.
Yeah, I think I might buy them for my den this year or next year.
Just because they're low cost. I think IKEA there's been some interviews out there over the past. I think IKEA just really took it seriously. Like they took all of it seriously. The smart home, very, very serious. Like they made good products. That was their goal. Like we're going to make good products. It's going to be high quality, low price, just like everything else they have, I guess. But yeah, I'm looking at the wireless motion sensor, $8.99. Like trod-free bulbs, $13.99.
I don't even know if you can get Aquara stuff for that cheap.
No, I mean, it's wild how inexpensive. Here, a ceiling lamp, stick it on the ceiling, $44.99. So wireless outlets are $14.99. That's probably, I don't know. That's pretty good actually. I think Shelly's are what, $20 somewhere in there. But they've got a ton of smart home products now that's just lined up. There's 133 things, 160 something things loaded up in here now. Yeah, 163 results for smart home products. Not bad, IKEA. Keep up the good work. Oh, they got tons of bulbs now. Holy moly. Every kind of style of bulb that you'd want.
In smart version?
Yeah. They are smart because they have the little remote next to them to turn on, like a GU10 bulb that with the little remote thing next to it. Yeah, there's little brains inside of it. That's wild. All right. And speaking of lights, LifeX, it's a well-known smart lighting company. It's kind of disappeared over the last couple of years, but it's coming back now here. It's launching a new line of outdoor smart lights that will support Matter as well after being bought by Fiat Electric. I don't know. Why can't it just call Bob's Electric? Like it would be so much easier. LifeX is expanding its product range with outdoor string lights, neon flex lights, path lights, and spotlights. These lights all boost vivid colors, tunable white light, and Wi-Fi compatibility, and also Matter support. So yay! Got some more stuff here for LifeX. And again, LifeX has always been one of those like top quality companies. They I don't know about now. They're owned by Fiat, whatever this name is, but I've seen that brand. That brand I associate with things like Costco. Like it's in there. I have some.
They're everywhere.
Lamps and bulbs. Yeah, they're everywhere. It's a huge company. So I don't know. Like they will probably continue along the ways of making quality product. So this is kind of nice. This is kind of like you have the Govee if you want to do it on the Jeep, and then probably LifeX is probably a little bit more.
Yeah, these are appealing to me, especially the outdoor ones, the pathway lights. I'm looking at adding some pathway lights to our house. And I could just do like the normal 12 volt, white landscape lights, which I typically do. But these ones, I mean, they're only like $20 more than I would pay for like normal pathway lights anyway. And they're RGBW. I mean, how could you not want that?
Yeah, the little round square path lights for $149, it says in the article here on The Verge. But if I click through the Home Depot, they're $99.
Yeah, so I think this is the round one, and they're not as bright, if I remember correctly, because I was looking at these the other day. They have two different styles, and one of them's not as bright as the other one, I think. But I mean, they're still 12 volts. I mean, you can just hook them up to regular power, and then you control it through your app. So I mean, that's pretty nice.
Oh yeah, here it is. I'm not sure if it's the same one you're looking at, but it's a smart RGB LED. Actually, I should probably have bought this. But if I look at this, it's a $79 for one light, right? But the Govee, I know like the Govee, you get two of them for basically $49, I think. I don't know. I have a couple sitting over there. So Govee is like in a completely different class. I'm really curious. I kind of want to get my hands on these now because like for $79, if it's quality, it would actually work a lot better for these outdoor garden spotlight things. I think this would be actually a little bit better than what Govee put together.
I like the look of the round one better. The square one I don't like as much because it looks like it's like caged in or something.
You're talking about the bollard things or just the uplight? Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, the bollard, however you say it.
Bollard, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, $99, that's not bad because like I said, the ones I normally use, they're just like the regular landscape path lights. I mean, I'm paying $75 each. So
yeah,
an extra $25. It's not bad. Maybe I'll pick up a couple and play with them. But the question is, do they integrate locally with Home Assistant?
I bet they do.
Well, they're Matter compatible, like so.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You're gonna need some outdoor Wi-Fi though. Get that Wi-Fi signal outside.
Are the landscape or the pathway lights Matter compatible?
They all say Matter, Wi-Fi and Matter compatible.
Okay, cool.
It's just the smart string light says Matter compatibility coming soon. So don't buy it based on coming soon, but I'm pretty sure it will come soon.
I'm definitely picking up two of these. Maybe we'll talk about them next show.
Awesome. Yeah,
awesome.
do that.
Spending your money.
Yeah, tell me the build quality on these things. I really want to know if they're going to
Get one of each.
Florida.
I want to know.
Well, I need like 5 just for the sidewalk going up to my house. So I'm not going to buy 5 right away though.
You can return them. Get them.
I'm poor right now. I don't need to. I just got a fence done.
Yeah, you need lighting for the new fence.
This is for the front of the yard though.
Well, then you got to get more for the back, you know?
You got to get a lot more for the back. Get those string lights for the back.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna have $2,000 on lights.
That's nothing.
You didn't think the money was going to stop at the fence? Come on.
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap up all the news and topics, but all the links and everything we discussed tonight can be found on our show notes over at HomeTech.fm/472. All right, mailbag. We got a message from Todd in San Diego. He says, currently I'm using Ring cameras. I also have a Vera controller that turns on some outdoor lights with Z-Wave switch. To link the Ring to Vera, I have used Alexa and Alexa routines. When one of the Ring cameras detects motions outside, the camera triggers an Alexa routine to tell the Vera to turn on my outside lights. After 5 minutes, he has another Alexa routine to tell Vera to turn off the outside lights. The problem is, if you're outside for more than 5 minutes, suddenly you're standing in the dark. Says, I don't believe there's a way with Alexa routines to have it reset the timer for another 5 minutes if it continues to see motion. Do you have a solution?
Home Assistant.
When in doubt, Home Assistant's the answer.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know the capabilities of Vera, but if you can, put the routine in Vera. Use another controller to handle it. Like just use the Amazon to turn the lights on, right? But let Vera do the logic after that with your motion sensor and stuff, if possible, right? I do this. I'll tell you how I do. I do it with Home Assistant. And in Home Assistant, you can create like a device group. And I create the device group with my outside motion sensors. And basically I say, if all of them are off after 3 minutes, then you can turn off the lights. But if any one of them are on, then turn on the light. If it's already on, then keep it on. And it's so easy in Home Assistant with an automation to do something like that. So it's just, when it comes to Alexa's great for basic things. And here I go tripping all the Alexas, but they're good for basic things. But once you start getting to more complicated stuff, you're going to find its limitations quickly. And you're going to want to put that kind of logic on your controller. So look to see what your Vera can do. And if it can't do it, then Home Assistant.
Can have another convert.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with, so the problem here is Alexa, right? The Alexa routine. But it does look like there's a way that you can stop it. That you can say Alexa stop routine, but I don't know how he's triggering that routine to happen from, I guess that's detecting basically within the app. You're detecting on the Ring motion because it has Ring integration with Alexa, right? So that's where it's coming from, but you can't say if it continues. See, here's the problem too. So like Ring will send a motion event out, but it won't reset for a bit too. Like it might be less than 5 minutes, but it's still going to be a little bit longer than you think. It's not continuously sending that motion event out. You're going to get one every now and then. Like it kind of divides it up into like when it stops seeing motion, that's when the motion supposedly ends. And then I think by my rough testing, the new motion event will come through when it sees motion again or sees a person again. At least. So I have a Ring integration that we run through our company that we get those events off of. And I basically have mine set up to send me kind of a push notification through an old app called Prowl, which is super old. It's just an API push notification thing that you can send a hook to. And I just kind of randomly do that just to make sure my integration is working when I walk outside. If it doesn't go off, then I know that, I probably need to check the servers, but that hasn't happened in ages. And every time I walk outside, I get a little buzz when it detects me walking in front of the camera. So it also will go off if somebody's walking up the driveway and that kind of thing. But I can tell you that it's not like a constant motion thing. It's not like a real motion detector would be, like where it triggers the motion detection. You have that like contact closure, it sets off. And then when it stops detecting, it goes away. So just a little bit different with Ring, because I think it's mostly based on video, but also some, because I have the one with the motion detector on it, may be triggered by that little infrared motion detector, maybe at night. I'm not sure, but I think it's mostly video that triggers it. But yeah, I don't know. If there's a way you can turn on, I guess you can turn on Do Not Disturb. That'll also cancel the routines that are in progress. If you can do that programmatically, that might be an option too. So if you go outside and you're still standing there, but I don't really know how you would do that. If you receive motion, turn on Do Not Disturb, turn it back on, and then trigger the lights at the same time. It doesn't seem like it's going to be practical to do all this through Alexa. It's going to be much easier to move it to a real automation system like Home Assistant or into Vera, but I don't think Vera is going to have the Ring integration for you.
Probably not, no.
But being able just to bridge it through Alexa. I mean, if you go with Home Assistant, I think you can bring the Ring camera straight into Home Assistant at that point, right? So you can skip the Amazon altogether, which would make it better, work nicer. But yeah, once you get into more complicated things like this, Amazon Alexa is not the way to go.
When in doubt, Home Assistant.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a Ring. It looks like Vera is relying on those Alexa routines for the Ring doorbell integration. So, kind of unfortunate, but I guess that's going to be how it works in that ecosystem. Trying to think if there's I know that Vera has an API. I should probably just bridge my little integration over to that. They were, the company was after us for a while to develop stuff for them. So just add it on. Then you get instant notifications and then you can use the logic built into Vera. So it's only more work for me to do. All right. Well, I don't know. I think that's probably the right answer is to move towards Home Assistant, which is going to use the hacked API. But the thing is like the logic in there, you'll be able to more fine tune exactly what you want to have happen. And that's kind of where you are now. Like you're going to be limited here as to what Alexa can do. And the only other option is to see if you can turn it on more than 5 minutes, turn it on 10 minutes or something like that. So you don't get stuck out in the dark. But I don't know how to cancel that other routine if you have more motion events coming in. So best of luck, Todd. Reach out to us in the hub and tell us what you ended up doing. Hopefully, and if you need any help, Gavin GPT is available in the hub. We've fired that up, just at Gavin in the hub. Standard rates will apply.
Gotta subscribe to your gas.
Gavin, subscribe now before rates go up.
That's right. Right now it's only $1.83 Canadian, but it might go up more.
All right, let's move on here. We got a pick of the week, and the pick of the week, of course, is the World Server Throwing Championship taking place in Germany here.
Ooh.
At CloudFest.
Are we all going?
I don't know. I would love to go to this because I really want to throw a server. It's subtitled here: Bare Metal versus Raw Power. So, how this works. There are up to 40 server throwing athletes that will show their raw power in front of a live audience at CloudFest. This is intense sport, not even in quotations there. That's brave. Welcomes all genders and ability levels. The only requirement is your desire to throw a server really bleeping far. So there you go. You get 2 attempts to throw a server, and the furthest result is recorded. This has got to be I think this should end up in the Olympics. So this is really cool. I would love to do this. Honestly, I would love to do this. Throw a server. This picture's amazing too.
I've always wanted to know what it's like to throw a server. I've always threatened my server that I was going to throw it, but I've never actually done it. But it would be interesting to see how far you can throw a server.
I do have a server I could throw.
I wonder if they put
is there like a technique to it? Do you like go sideways or you overhead throw?
Do you have to bring your own server or do they provide you one?
They should provide you with one.
Yeah. But then you can't practice. You just get there and you have to wing it.
I mean, these things weigh probably 80 pounds or something. They're very heavy. I wonder if they leave the power supplies in them. Like,
they must have a standard weight so everyone's throwing the same weight. Is it a regulation server? They probably have like regulation servers. The
one he looks like he's throwing in this beautiful photo looks like it's a 1U full racked up server. Which I mean, it's still heavy. It looks thin, but they're still heavy. They're heavy. And this guy is clearly an athlete. He's got gloves on and everything. So like. if gloves are involved, I think that means that, it's a serious sport.
All I know is I would not be one of the spectators standing there along the side because one bad throw and that server's hitting you.
That's brave.
Yeah.
If I look in the background there, actually, I can see behind, maybe that's a judge or something. There's a guy there in, a black shirt, and he's got a couple of servers leaned up on a table behind him. So it looks like that you have multiple servers that you can throw. I don't know. This is beautiful though. I really want to either do this or be part of this or just see it in action. This is amazing.
Where does it happen again?
It's a Cloud Fest. It looks like it's in Germany.
Road trip.
Yeah.
Well, I have something to tell you guys.
Oh, wait. Have you seen the passes for Cloud Fest? Oh, man.
Yeah, they're $1,000 or something like that.
You got to buy the servers, guys. I mean, servers are expensive, even junk ones.
I'm staying local. Let me know how it is, guys.
Well, check this out. The pictures are amazing for this, and there's a couple of them on this page. And if you do enter the Cloud Fest 2024 World Server Throwing Championship, let us know how you did. I really want to do this.
Do it.
I'll bring my own server.
Do
All
it.
It's going to be an expensive carry-on.
Yeah, right. If you have any feedback, questions, comments, picks of the weeks, or great ideas for a show, give us a shout. Our email address is feedback@HomeTech.fm, or you can visit HomeTech.fm/feedback and fill out the online form. All right, we got some project updates. Well, I mean, speaking of updates, our everyone's favorite project, Home Assistant, has some updates. We've got OS 12 released with Raspberry Pi 5.
Raspberry Pi 5 support.
There we go. Raspberry Pi 5 support, which is good. There we go. And then we've got Home Assistant 2024.3 being released as well.
Yeah, so the big news was basically the 2024.3. They released drag and drop to a point on their dashboards. So it's like you can create groups of entities and icons and cards and stuff and drag them around. And it's basically their first step on some of their dashboard overhaul. So it looks like they're going to put a lot of focus into that this year. They're not writing a new dashboard. They're just going to be adding a lot more features into the current one. And the drag and drop looks cool for what it is. They had a presentation.
Did you do the what was it called? It wasn't Loveless. It was the next version of the grid thing. Grace. Grace is the newest Grace one. Presentation. Yeah.
I'm still running Lovelace.
No. It's the Grace is the new design thing they're coming out with the grid. Like Lovelace uses this weird Pinterest style grid that kind of like randomly organizes the cards on the thing, and you can't really tell where things are supposed to go. But this one is using like more of a grid, and it did look like they're just going to redesign the front end interface a little bit.
Yeah, the layout to it, and the grid allows them to the drag and drop to flow better. So they went in. They had a presentation on the Friday after the beta was released, and leading up to that, they gave me the impression they were coming out with a whole new interface, but it was just them adding this to the current interface. And yeah, it's grid based. They went into how the current columns flowed. So right now we all think of it as you put things on the dashboard and we have no clue where it goes, right? Or if you resize your screen, it resizes and you have no clue where things move to. Like it never made sense, but they went into the logic and explained how it flowed and why it flowed that way. Well, with this new one, it's much better. Things kind of stay together and it flows a lot better when you resize it or, you move things around, you add things. So it's
is this in this new release? Like
yes.
this grid thing? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I saw that presentation. It was pretty impressive. And it, like you said, it made sense the way they had done it before, but this seems to be more, this is better. This is going to be way better.
Much better. And it's the first step. So they actually said they're bringing this to play with, get input and then go from there, but drag and drop was a whole, something people wanted for the longest time. You could just drag and drop the cards all over the screen and it works nicely. So, that's the biggest thing about this release. I mean, there's other things and you can find out from the article, but if you're going to this is the one that stood out the most.
Yeah, no, the reasoning behind the redesign or what they're trying to do, like putting a couple of cards in a section and being a better, like a more logical grid thing made total sense. I watched some of that presentation, if not all of it. I'm not sure. I don't know. But it definitely looked like they're on the right track now. Like that's going to help their interface. Now, it's not going to help all the other things, issues that I have with the system, but as far as the interface goes, that's going to be way better. It makes way more sense the way this works and how you can go in and kind of like, I've got this set up here. I'm going to move it to the kitchen. I'm going to have all the stuff in the kitchen, little lights, cards for that, where I can interact with stuff in the kitchen, and it's all going to stay grouped together. It's not going to get mixed up like it did before.
Yeah. And it helps you design one dashboard that works on multiple different screens. So it will work on your phone nicely and still stay together in a nice way. And it will work on a tablet nicely. So that's the goal. They're going to be talking about roadmaps in the near future and what they're focusing on. And it sounds like dashboards are going to get quite a bit of love this year.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not going to say I didn't say it needed to happen. I mean, Hot Dog Stand was a direct attempt to help the community see their ways.
I mean, honestly, we should be thanking you because that probably kicked them into gear. I mean, they were like, we need to put a stop to this.
I think it did. Yeah. So I'm glad to see I could help the open source community and the Home Assistant community in this effort, in my efforts. I'm really glad to see that all that hard work paid off, because I really did a lot of work on that. A lot, guys.
Did you really though? Did you?
What, more than maybe 5 minutes?
A lot of YAML.
Made ChatGPT write it all.
There you go. I knew it was too clear.
All right. Oh, that's pretty cool. I'm glad that coming out. I didn't realize that was part of this release, but yeah, that's going to be really cool. And really helpful for making the dashboard make more sense for people. So good deal. Any home projects, Gavin, going on last couple of weeks?
No, I've been messing a lot with my 3D printer and just printing various things, and I haven't had my Home Assistant's been like running great. So, I mean, I haven't really been tinkering with it a lot. Spring's coming up soon. So, I have to shout out David in the Slack channel. He pinged me. He had his first mow of the season. I can't remember where he's located, but where it is, it's warmer than here. But he had his first mow, and I remember we had a lot of conversation about the soil moisture sensors, and he was all on board with it too. And his lawn is looking great. Like, I have to admit, came out sweet. I feel like partially responsible for that. Take a little credit there, but
yeah, go ahead.
It pays off to know, how much moisture is in your lawn.
Yeah, I had not the first mow of the season, but I set off Clippy last night. I was going out to get the mail. I'm like, you know what? If I got to go out and get the mail, because Clippy's got to do some work. And so I sent him on his way. I'm like, it's nice and cool out here. You should enjoy it. And he started running in the yard. And then I was like, I looked outside out the back window of the house when I got back inside, and I saw a light flash out there. I'm like, what was that? And I picked up the radar, and it was like this massive downpour coming through last night. So I'm like, oh, Clippy, go home.
Did he make it home?
He made it. Well, it was sprinkling on him, but he made it back into his little area.
You should tie it into a camera though, so when somebody like pulls in the driveway, Clippy goes and greets them, maybe with like a glass of lemonade or something.
Just make lemonade. Like,
just looks great. At them.
Welcome.
Does Clippy have a home? Does he have a little a roof over his head at night? And
I think he built him like a janky garage. I wouldn't even know if I'd call. I would call it like a carport. I think
call it a janky garage if you wanted to. I found I had all these like concrete curved garden things that I have been moving around the yard for too long now, and I was like, you know what? I can stack two of these next to each other, and the pressure, makes a nice little arch. And Clippy fits conveniently under this little arch, so he's mostly protected from the sun. He gets a shade during the day. He can't complain too much.
It's
no iguanas mess with him.
I don't know about that. Like, he probably has an iguana friend living in there right now.
It's Florida, so anything he builds them is better than some of the other houses.
That's true.
It's basically a meth house. But let's not talk about that.
I was going to try and see if he's all charged up and ready to go, but it's too wet for him to go out and mow right now. So I'll wait for tomorrow, and then he'll get back to work. TJ, what about you?
No projects this week. Well, I guess that's not true. No tech projects this week. We got the fence installed last week.
Oh yeah,
and so we got the old fence removed. We installed a 6-foot wooden privacy fence, and so that was done Monday, Tuesday last week. And then we had tornadoes. So the fence is still there, which is really good. We didn't have a tornado come near us necessarily, but it was within our vicinity. We got woken up in the middle of the night, though, by hail. It sounded like my house was being like torn down or something. It was crazy. But the fence is still there, and it looks great. I'm going to be exploring lighting for the fence, though. So right now I have just a bunch of Ring solar wall mounted lights that I've kind of just rigged up. But I want to do some permanent lights. So if you have a privacy fence and you've done some lights around it, I'd be interested to know what you've done.
LifeX just released a bunch of lighting products.
Yeah. I don't know if I can afford all that.
And you could design the layout using Blackwire's products.
Oh, tell me more about this. Blackwire.
I had to put them in there though. So
yeah.
Well, yeah. So like my project for the past, a while, I guess, has been working on.
I mean, this only took you a couple days, right?
Yeah, I just threw it together with ChatGPT. Yeah, it's been this blacklight designing software we put together at work, and we're finally like at a point where we can really start showing it to people. And we went to the Lightapalooza show, which honestly probably the best like show I've been to in a very long time. I went last year and just kind of like poked around, met with a couple of reps I knew, just kind of was like hanging out, but just to kind of get a lay of the land. And we decided to go this year and exhibit. And man, I mean, everybody there was awesome. Like every attendee, it's a very small, I would say probably 20 or 30 booths in this thing. There's only a couple of vendors in there, but everybody in there was great. We all talked to, went over and said hi to everybody. Pretty much know everybody that's there, and it was a very small subset of some of the bigger players product line. So like if you're used to seeing a massive Control 4 booth at CD or something like that, well, picture Control 4 set up in a 20 by 10 booth with some of their lighting products, and that's it. Like, so, even DMF, which has this massive booth they had a big booth here, but they have a massive booth at CEDIA and some of the other shows. They had just a decent size, maybe about 30 by 30 or something like it. It's a smaller booth, and everybody's up there playing with the DMF lights and putting things together. So we had a great time, and it was a great show. There was a lot of like education classes to do. We did 2 trainings on the software, and my project has been getting that thing up and going and integrating it. I actually did an integration with Control 4. So you can like go in and design all the stuff. You design off all your DMX networks and all that good stuff. It automatically assigns channels, but you can go customize it if you want. And then when you hit this button, you can download it into your Control 4 system, and it automatically program your Control 4 lights and name them and all that good stuff. So that's kind of been my project. It finally wrapped up on literally probably the second day of the show. The first day I did a training, and I'm like, that's a bug. I got to fix that. And I'm looking up at the, like going back in the car and like typing on the way home, trying to like get these things wrapped up. But yeah, I think it's pretty solid now. Now we've got to work with manufacturers and other people and get more information put in it than we have. It's a program, and we got really good feedback on it there. So totally excited about it. Can highly recommend going to Lightapalooza though. Like, it seems like a goofy name for a show, but if you're interested at all in doing lighting and as a business type thing, they have everything there. One of the coolest things I saw was I don't know if you've heard of the company Light Can Help You. They're like a lighting design company for dealers and integrators who have like maybe a showroom and want to start selling lighting. They dreamt up this brilliant idea, and I wish I had thought of it, but they're smarter than me. They have put together basically like your demo showroom of what like actual lighting design looks like. And they had kind of a couple of things, some fake windows, a couple of fake walls, I guess, with columns, just like kind of finishes that you would see in somebody's house, a bunch of shelving with different like up and down lights, some cabinets with lights underneath and that kind of thing. And you could go through and basically say, okay, this is what you get with your builder. And it turns on the downlights from the ceiling. And it just looks like, okay, that's nice. And this is what you get if you do lighting design. They push a button and man, the whole thing just transforms. And then you can take options in and out of that. You can turn off sconce lights if you don't want to use those. It was just a brilliant sales tool, I guess. But it does show what your house could look like if it had proper, full lighting design with the way they do it. I'm not an artist. I don't know how they manage to do that. So when you get into lighting design, it's like artistry, and that's not me. So I can draw a line, and I made a program that draws lines and calls it an LED. So
genius.
I know, right?
No, the software looks really nice, Seth. I mean, I obviously cannot play with it myself, but everything I've seen, the screenshots and everything, make it look really nice. So
you just got to register. It's free for our dealers to get in there and play around and use. But all you have to do is register. It's easy.
All right.
It's easy, TJ. You'd qualify.
I register for everybody. I'll become a dealer.
I can just slide you under the door. Be like, hey, this guy, I know him. Let him in.
Let me in.
Yeah. There's still work to do. I still got a lot of work to do and data to input. But for the most part, it was a pretty good success thing, I guess. I'm just glad it's over and I can go back to relaxing and doing house projects like I'm always doing, right?
Ooh, yeah.
I got a lot of catch up to do to catch up with you guys. I got a Vinahood to start working on.
I mean, it's like a 3-year. It's like a 2 or 3 year project.
He's in it for the long haul here.
I figured out what I was going to do now.
Just buy a new hood. Is that what you're going to do?
I've got
You even purchased the backup parts in case you screw it up, right?
Yeah, no, I got all that, but I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use something. I'm going to do something different. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I've got all sorts of stuff to do. I'm going to start pick up that list that I threw away in 2021, 2022, somewhere in there. Yeah, and get back to it. So yeah, the car starts though.
Baby steps.
Baby steps. Exactly. All right, let's wrap it up. We do want to give a big thank you to everyone who supports the show, but especially those who are able to financially support the show through our Patreon page. If you don't know about the Patreon page, go over to HomeTech.fm/support to learn how you can support HomeTech for as little as $1.83 Canadian a month. But any pledge over $5 a month or $6.83, I don't know what it would be, Canadian, will get you a big shout out here on the show. But every pledge gets you an invite to our private Slack chat, The Hub, where you can go look at pictures of TJ's fence.
That's right.
It's actually really nice. It's a nice fence.
They did a very good job on it.
They did.
I can't see all my neighbors, so that's great.
That was the point. If you'd like to help out but can't support financially, totally understand. Just appreciate a 5-star review on iTunes or a positive rating in the podcast app of your choice. That's going to wrap up another week of HomeTech News here. Everybody have a great weekend, and we will see you next week.
Till next time.
Take care.